TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. Listen, we got some unfortunate news in boxing. I don't want to say unfortunate. I would say this guy had an amazing career. But as we mentioned, that Tyson Fury has announced his retirement. He stated that he had a blast, and I would agree that he had a blast. He had a lot of good fights with Wilder. Got up off the canvas, came back. After the draw, came back and won two fights in a row. He's been on a bit of a losing streak as of late, but to see someone like the Gypsy King, in this career, he's a fighter that I like to watch. He had a lot of skills to be a heavyweight. I'm talking about his boxing skills was through the roof, in my opinion. He may not have had all the power you want to see, but his boxing skills were definitely top of the heap in regards to boxers. So, what's your thoughts on Fury calling it quits, man? Not calling it quits, but he's retiring from boxing.
Man, I'm upset to see him leave, at the height of his career. But I understand it, being a fighter. Listen, if it's not clicking, it's time to go. And shit, I feel like we'll see him again. But he's arguably one of the best and one of my greatest, heavyweights that I enjoy watching. And just seeing him battle with so many things outside of the ring, obesity, mental health, depression, and see him turn his life around in his career, at the height, losing the weight and really dominating the sport at one point in time. And even to now, he's still arguably the favorite, one of the best.
Yeah. And he spoke about, all the depression issues, the weight issues, all of the things, the alcohol abuse and substance abuse and things that he was going through. He showed his vulnerability, and then he showed the ability to bounce back and be a household name, and possibly at one point probably was the best boxer at one time. A lot of people was considering him to be number one pound for pound.
Yes.
After those victories, especially over Deontay Wilder, and then you see him lose. He's currently 36 years old. That's sometimes you can look at that being old in boxing after you get over 34, 35. 36, but his skills, he did have two good outings his last two fights, man.
Right.
So, but to see him leave, I'm pretty sure people possibly don't believe he's going to leave. I didn't believe it initially, but to see him, and him mention that he's done, hate to see you leave, Fury.
When you see him, Teofimo Lopez, Danny Garcia, there have probably been, some more, right? Vinny Pazienza. I think it's Arturo Gatti. That probably been the most vulnerable in terms of talking about this mental health piece in terms of boxing, right? And nobody understands when you take a loss how you mentally feel and how it's so many things internally you have to go through, right? Sugar Ray Leonard spoke about it because, outside of the sport, you're still human, and people going to always ask you what happened and different things. You had to go back into your mind to, listen, growing up and being a boxer, right? And I remember first sparring, and my trainers was telling me, how great I was. And then one time I got in there and I'm dominated by this one kid. And I remember boxing this one kid, and I started breaking down, crying in the ring. And they were telling me, how good I am, and I'm crying, right? And I called, and then I'm saying, y'all lying to me, right? Because if y'all told me I was the best, why he hit me? Why am I getting hit? And nobody could understand that. And I'm like, it was something in me. They're like, no, you're good. But they raised the competition, and this kid was definitely seasoned. He was an Olympian. And I'm like, but y'all telling me I'm good. Why am I getting hit as much as I am? I thought I was the best. And so I say that to say, when you're going through these transitions of being a champion and everybody telling you how good you are and you're believing it, right? And then you go and you get beat, nobody is there when the lights are out. Sugar Ray Leonard talked about it. Even as recent as Scooter, Stevie Fulton, right? Stevie Fulton, it was a situation where, I'm telling him right before he went overseas to fight the champion, put his belts up, right?
Yeah.
And he, I'm telling him different things, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna come to camp, but he's a champion. Nobody could, he never lost, maybe in the amateurs, but, he's never felt that, in a career. So he's looking at me like, what Punch saying to me, man? Like, look, man, you lost. Like, yo, he's never been vulnerable. So he went over there and he came up short. So when he came back, he was like, damn, man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Scooter? And he was like, yo, bro, man, Punch, I'm sorry, bro. I just, because in his mind, he thought he could never lose. He felt like, yo, I can never lose. I can never go through these things. And now when I'm vulnerable, because it's basically saying, who is he to tell me how I should run things when I'm the champ, and I won all my fights, and I'm never going to taste no defeat. And I'm saying, listen, bro, we should look at it like this, and I'm giving him my opinion.
Yeah.
But basically, he's saying, who are you to tell me my opinion? I didn't ask you for that, and I understood that. So he went and he came up short. He tasted his defeat, and he came back and was like, damn, man, bro, I'm sorry, because I never, I didn't understand at that point what you were saying. Y'all dudes was saying, y'all seasoned than me, and I looked at that when Sugar Ray Leonard lost to, Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Hearns, and he was like, yo, he thought he could never lose.
So looking at looking at the fight, Tyson Fury just lost his last fight versus Usyk. He loses this fight, right? And now he announces his retirement. Do you think this just, could be
a gimmick?
Not a gimmick, but like the pressure or the stress getting to him, where he's saying, "Man, I'm openly saying I'm done. I'm retiring. I had a great run." And then at some point down the line, once he gets over the actual loss, he may return to feel like he want to get back in the ring again. Is that something that normally goes to a boxer's mind?
Yeah, we saw that with Telefino Lopez. We saw that with Danny Garcia. We saw that with many fighters. There's been times when, Earl Spence, when these guys say, look, man, I want to, I think this is it.
I think the fans and the media, like, they put a lot of pressure on these athletes, and then sometimes you look at somebody else on TV, you don't understand that person is human just like you. That person maybe has a wife or has children or has a mother. Everyone has a mother and a father, but you have family who care about you, and you're a human being.
Human side.
And people don't really understand that these losses and these inside the ring are sometimes devastating, and then also you may have things going on outside the ring. So when you have the compound pressure or the compound issues that are going on, and you lost, that's something that you love to do, something that you love, that you dedicated your life to, and you take a loss. Sometimes it's difficult to bounce back, especially when you have it in your mind, like, I'm the best. Nobody can be.
We live in a society where, especially as being fighters, right? We deal with so many of these, these stigmas of, if it ain't rough, it ain't right. Oh, we got to go through it to get to it. It's, it's hard. Only the strong survive. It's all this machoism, right? And there's no human side, no emotion, right? And so, and we're taught as fighters to be strong and to be tough, right? And so it's no reverse. It's no fear there. It's fearless. It's hard. But when them lights go out, right? It's damn near like we're breeded only to destroy, right? I remember, like, being a fighter, and outside of that, I couldn't really receive the emotion side, like from my, my woman and family. It was just like, it was hard because I only knew one way. Like I couldn't really show that, and since then, that's what I'm talking about with the mental health piece. And this is a whole new conversation, because we need mental health. When our hands is hurting, our head is hurting, we go to the doctor for that, right? Yeah. But nobody talks about it from the mental aspect. When you hearing voices, and when your head is spinning, when you're going through some things and you don't know who to talk to, nobody says, hey, we need to go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, we saw that with, you know, Tony Ayala, you know, and that's where those other cases came. We saw that with the Nigerian, you know, trained Samuel Peter.
Yeah.
You know, all these fighters was dealing with mental health. Iran Barkley.
Yeah.
You know, what was the heavyweight that Oliver McCall, he got in the ring and broke down crying.
Yeah.
These are real things, and nobody talks about it. Iron Mike Tyson are now talking about these things. Yo, I had fear. I was going through things. Every fight, I threw up in trash cans. I cried till I got to the ring. You know, I cried because I was breathed to die.
Wow.
Nobody talks about that.
So and it's like, you know, even with boxers, man, you know, they have all the mental health, all the issues that's going on because, you know, they're expected to always win.
Yes.
Right? And then after boxing, there's no 401k, there's no medical, there's nothing that's helping you. You gotta, if you don't have any money from boxing, you can't pay for the proper medical help, proper therapists, things of that nature. So it's like, you know, boxing is a very, very brutal sport, and people have to understand that people are human beings and they suffer and go through emotions just like everyone else. So just chime in, let us know your thoughts on mental health. You see a lot of fighters, athletes, not just fighters, but athletes all around who suffer and deal with, you know, mental health. And hopefully, you know, this video here, you expressing your experiences with mental health or things of that nature can open the eyes of people, to the viewers, and let them know that this is a serious thing. So there you have it. It's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.
Everywhere.
If you're looking for a career in home care, call Medicare LLC. We have the top pay, PTO, holiday pay, medical, dental, 401k. Call now. That's 215-644-8341.